I took this e-commerce brand right here, which was already doing roughly $300,000 every month in revenue earlier this year, and I more than doubled its revenue in less than 60 days to over $746,000 per month in revenue. And now, because of this scale, this brand is able to consistently generate enough revenue and profitability to not only expand their product online, but to also establish more local stores which contain their products. And in this video, I want to reveal everything I did here from start to finish, step by step, so that you can copy and paste this approach with your own e-commerce brand and achieve similar results. But with that, let's now go a little bit over the background of this e-commerce brand, exactly what it is, what it sells, etc., so you have a more clear idea of what we're working with here. And it is a liquor brand selling alcohol of all sorts. Now, we started work with the landing page. We started work with the actual product feed. And one thing you want to keep in mind is when it comes to brands like these, where it's more of a liquor brand, there's a lot of Google Ads policies we need to always be looking after and following to ensure we don't get that Google Ads account suspended. And for example, these were the kinds of competitors and ads which we were always ranking against some of the biggest brands within this industry. One thing I did begin to understand as we did more and more research within this brand is a lot of people in niches like these where they just care about the product only, they don't really care how fancy your website is. All they care about is whether you're a trustworthy brand or not, and whether you have the product which the customer wants or not. That's literally it. And this is where you want to come in with the idea of having the best possible product, but also having the best possible foundation. That's what we did here. Now, this is a sample website of what we really looked into mimicking and trying to make our website similar to, but our website essentially was just as simple. We had a very straightforward header at the top with a little bit of a promotion going on with the website. There was the product image, the product title. The only difference with our website was there were multiple product images, but besides that, we were also offering the opportunity for them to add all of these upsells and downsells in. This is where so many brands forget that your main goal should be to increase the average order value. And we essentially added upsells like add gift wrappings or add greeting cards, same thing that this brand did. And in fact, our bottles, because they were alcoholic bottles, we had the opportunity to also engrave kind of things onto the bottle itself. So there could be things done such as text engravings or engravings in different kinds of colors, or even gold colored engravings, so on and so forth. When this kind of checkbox system was added within our brand, we noticed that the average order value simply went through the roof. I mean, it's up 6% already this year compared to the previous. It's around $246, and the recent time period it has dropped as we have started to test more things and to scale further. Once we got the landing page out of the way, we became heavily focused on the actual product feed itself. So as I had mentioned earlier, the main issue with this kind of niche, or just a restrictive niche like this, is Google is extremely tough on you. And if we look at some of the product disapprovals which we're dealing with even to this day, some of the most basic things, such as not having a valid GTIN, was directly leading to products getting disapproved. And when we began work, about 30 to 40% of the entire product feed was entirely disapproved. So over time, as we began working on the product disapprovals, we noticed that the sales volume was naturally starting to go up on its own, even with the same approach we had originally launched. And we began work with this brand back in June. Product disapproval is one of the most important things we did here to really scale it to the next level. But along with that, we were heavily focused on the product titles as well. Now, for security reasons, you'll not be able to see these, but one approach that we took here, we focused, number one, on the specific details of the liquor bottles we were selling. Now, for a lot of these liquor bottles, the age of that bottle, the age of that alcoholic beverage is extremely important. So our entire approach relied on mentioning the age of that alcohol bottle to attract the right kind of audience, but on top of that, to add a little bit of branding to the overall product title, such as the brand name itself at the very end, to differentiate ourselves amongst the competitors, because we knew that if we were going to sell one type of alcoholic beverage, it was going to be the same exact thing as the other competitors would be doing. There would be no kind of differentiation possible unless we were going to start competing on pricing, which we absolutely never wanted to do. So we focused on the product titles to improve the product SEO and really rank in the front with the right kind of titles, but also the overall Google Merchant Center programs. We noticed that a lot of these brands, what they were doing is they had very similar programs to each other, like reviews, and a lot of them had the backend raw data inserted properly, which was similar to each other, and there was no differentiation there. So the Google Merchant Center things like promo codes, like specific discounts, like specific sales, that's what really helped us stand out from our competitors. But this brought us directly to the ad strategy. Once we had a proper landing page in place, once we had that proper product feed in place, which we all did, that's when we really started to notice the scale coming in just naturally. But we did incorporate our own ad strategies to really ensure scale was coming in. Now, to kind of go over what we did essentially in the beginning when we first launched ads, our approach during this time was fairly simple. So from June 1st to July 30th, we were running a very simple and straightforward campaign approach with only a few campaigns in total running. So during that time, only 8 different campaigns were running, and at this point, only 3 out of those 8 are running. But our main approach there had been to launch a few shopping campaigns along with a few performance max campaigns, and along with that, search campaigns to go after the generic campaigns. As we started to scale those, we started to realize that a lot of these search campaigns are just not working as well as we would like for this brand. So essentially what we did within the last 60-day period and the last 30-day period is we simplified the approach, and believe it or not, simplification actually led the sales to more than doubling. So from those 8 campaigns, we launched 5 of them, so only 3 were remaining, and we added 3 more to that to now give us a 6 total campaign approach. And the campaign approach, it's still fairly simple and straightforward. We're running one major performance max campaign, which is essentially testing the main products here, and we are also running kind of a catch-all campaign to get those lost sales back and to prevent any big sales from getting lost from the funnel. But in addition to that, we are also running a few standalone campaigns. These are campaigns where we're actually running them via standard shopping campaign, and we're individually focusing on products which were doing well within the original performance max campaign. But along with that, we just completely got rid of the search campaigns, and now we only have a branded search campaign running. So a full-on simple 6 campaign approach, which takes care of the cold traffic, and it also takes care of the retargeting for us. And what we did to really kind of scale it to the next level is we started to focus on improving and increasing the budgets. That's all we did. If you check out my last video, I'll go over 7 different scaling strategies. One of the strategies we used here out of those 7 was the vertical scaling. So essentially all we did was just increase the budgets rapidly. Here, as you can see, it still says limited by budget because now we are well into Q4, and this brand is going to perform the best during this time period. If you're doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue, you need just a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to the next level, go on my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But go ahead and like this video if you found any type of value from here, and subscribe if this is one of the first times you're watching one of my videos, and check out this video right here on my newest Google Ads strategies for 2023, which can help you get results just like these ones.